Hey y'all, it's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. So this week we are going to be covering the energy from July 23rd to July 31st. We are freshly into Leo season. We are coming up on that Jupiter retrograde and also the new moon in Leo, and not to mention the really big energy of the month, if not the entire year, with that Mars Uranus North Node conjunction in the sign of Taurus. So, before we dive into all of that energy, we would first like to say thank you for being here. Yes, so if you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you will not miss a beat on anything that I upload and share, all of the astrology news and the galactic gossip. All right, and if you are returning, then you know how we do. Welcome back, welcome in. I hope everyone had a wonderful last week. And I hope that, July has been, it's not, it's been very pressure filled. I will say that it's been applying pressure to us, but I hope it has not been too much. And I hope everyone is doing well on a mental level as well as a spiritual, physical, and emotional level as well. So that is that. Now, before we dive into the weekly energy, get these announcements out the way, shall we? So we have the Celestial City, which is the House of Chiron's membership. So Celestial City is open and accepting people in. If you are looking for a community of like-minded individuals that can talk about all things astrology, spirituality, we are a very woo crowd. Okay, so we talk about all the things. We have 2 meetings per month, which is our new moon intention ceremony. And then we also have a full moon Reiki release party. And not to mention, you get a discount to all of House of Chiron services, including our candles. You get a discount for that as well. And speaking of the candles, we are fully stocked of the Chiron candles that are Reiki infused. They are coconut soy wax. They are infused with essential oils and fresh herbs and flowers and all the beautiful things. You get a Reiki charm, and so much more with that. Also, excuse me, we have the yearly readings. They are still on sale for half off. And so you can get the year ahead focus for your sign. You can buy 1, you can buy 3, or you can buy all. But if you join the Celestial City membership, then you have access to those and is included in your membership. In the membership, we also do monthly readings, all signs. So goes into deep detail on all of that energy. So anywho, there's that. What else do we have as far as updates? I think that's it. We have the candles, we have the membership, we have the half off readings. And yeah, I think that's it. But if you are looking to further dive into your own natal chart, or your solar return or your lunar return or any of those things, please feel free to connect with me. The description box below has all of my contact information where you can book your readings, join the website, join the membership, or purchase your candles or all the other services that we provide here at House of Chiron. You can find that in the description box. All right, so and let's get into this energy for the last and final week of July. So we will be covering the energy for July 23rd all the way through to July 31st. And starting off, we have this Jupiter retrograde. So the first few days of this week, from the 23rd to about the 27th, we are going to be kind of having minor energy, right? Mercury is going to be trining Jupiter. Venus is going to be square Jupiter. And then Mercury in Leo is going to be square Mars. Now, although it's like minor energy, we should still take into consideration that these things are happening. Mercury is also going to be trining Chiron, which is currently retrograde in Aries. So Mercury trining Jupiter retrograde. So this is bringing in opportunities and news and information, all those types of things, right? Giving you a different insight going inward, right? Because that retrograde energy, it's not even retrograde yet. It's getting ready to go retrograde. So that's wrong. But either way, that Jupiter energy is forcing us to really tap into things on a spiritual level, right? On the inward level, right? Jupiter does rule Pisces, but it also rules Sagittarius. So it's about our beliefs, spiritual beliefs, whether they are, inward, outward, all of those things. And then Venus is going to be square Jupiter also. So bringing that added value. So you might even have some challenges with your values and your beliefs and bringing that to a head, right? Squares are those challenges that show us where we still have some growth to do and where we need to be challenged in order to grow. Okay, Mercury is going to be square Mars also, and that Mercury square Mars energy at the beginning of this week is going to put a damper on our motivations and our energy, and then the mental focus of being able to actually go do something. So also what this could bring in is that with that Mercury being our expression, and then Leo is our creative self-expression, right? It's our soul expression. We might run into some kind of conflict when it comes to, like, on a verbal level, having verbal conflicts, maybe even mental conflicts as well. Okay. And then with that Mercury in Leo trining Chiron, which is retrograde, that also might put some, focus and some understanding in our wounds when it comes to our identities and our egos also. It's kind of like an ego check in a sense. Okay. Now, the big energy for this week, we're going to get into that. We have Jupiter stationing retrograde at 8 degrees in Aries. Okay, and this happens depending on where you are in the world. It happens sometime around July 27th, 28th, all the way through to November 23rd, right? So Jupiter is going to be transiting retrograde until November 23rd, but it dips back into Pisces on October 28th and will remain in the sign of Pisces until December 20th. And so from November 23rd, and once the station's direct, right, and it'll be in Pisces, and then it's going to move forward through the sign of Pisces until December 20th, and then it'll re-enter Aries on December 20th and continue its transit until May of 2023 through the sign of Aries. Okay. So with all of that being said, Jupiter retrograde lasts roughly about 4 months each year. And so it takes Jupiter about 13 months to move through each sign. And during the time of Jupiter's backward motion in the sign of Aries, we're going to be guided to reflect on our inner truth on a philosophical and spiritual level. All right. So situations might arise to actually show us where there's still some growth that's needed, growth and development, right? And so during this time, we're going to be coming to terms with the truth of who we are, right? Even the truth that we've been avoiding, right? Since this retrograde is happening in Aries, it's that I am energy. Who are we? So we're going to be guided inward to determine who we are and what our passions really are. Where do those lie, right? So on an upbeat note about this energy, and Jupiter is all about the abundance and the opportunities that we seek. And so if we have missed any opportunities in the past, during this time, over the next 4 months, we might be presented with chances to seize those opportunities yet again. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind, that it's going to be like doing this thing where pouring out these blessings and pouring out these opportunities, and the abundance is still going to be able to come through, and then we're going to be able to see where it is that we need to really face the truth, right? Because Jupiter represents the truth. It's the philosophies, it's our beliefs. There also might be some opportunities to travel once again also. So just keep that in mind. Now, on the same day that Jupiter stations retrograde, right before Jupiter stations retrograde, we have this new moon that happens at 5 degrees in Leo. So a couple of hours before Jupiter stations retrograde, we have the new moon, 5 degrees. And with this new moon, so of course, new moons are always a time to set new intentions. Now, this new moon is going to be making a few aspects. Now, it's a loose trine to Jupiter, right? So it's about a 3-degree orb or so between Jupiter. So that trine is not an exact trine. So Jupiter is also getting ready to station retrograde. So keep that in mind. There's also this grand cross energy with Mercury, Saturn, and the lunar nodes, right? So the nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio. So keep that in mind as well. Also, the nodes are coming into an exact conjunction with Uranus and Mars as well, because that's gearing up for over the next couple of days. So keep that in mind. Now, this grand cross energy that we have between these, right? So we have Mercury in Leo here, and then we have Saturn which is retrograde in Aquarius here. And then we have both of those energies squaring off to the nodes, right? So we have the lunar node. So we have North Node in Taurus and we have the South Node in Scorpio. So it's making like this diamond kind of shape with a cross in the middle, hence the term grand cross, right? So think of it like a kite. So it's more so like also known as a grand kite. So this energy, when we think about it, is showing us where the challenges are that are promoting growth in all of us. So the squares to the nodes, right? So we have the Mercury squaring the North Node, and Mercury squaring the South Node. We have Saturn squaring the North Node and Saturn squaring the South Node. So both of these squares, or the square aspects to these lunar nodes, are showing us where we are missing the information towards obtaining our goals and our motivations, right? Where we are missing or where we need to grow within our discipline and, building the structure, releasing fears, right? What perceptions need shifting and what skills we could utilize in order to get there that we have either forgotten about or they have just been buried underneath fear, right? What ideas or mindsets are we holding on to that need to be loosened up from the grips or completely let go of? So taking these things into account while we're setting our intentions is very key. Uranus and Mars are both in Taurus, and they're coming into this exact conjunction that's going to happen between July 31st and August 1st or so. And with that, it's giving us the inspiration to take the action on what needs to be released and let go. But unfortunately, it's happening through crisis or challenge, right? And also, this is kind of that energy that says, hey, there's this challenge that you have to obtain, but it's also a blessing in disguise. And Uranus is not something that we can predict. So we all can just say that Uranus is unpredictable and we just have to remain open, which is why Uranus rules innovation. Uranus rules the eccentric parts of ourselves, right? So it's all about the quirkiness, the awkwardness, the parts that are not typically accepted, so to speak. And it's all about the people. So with that Uranus energy, we have to kind of keep an open mind with how we are going to get through these crises, right? These challenges. And also being able to keep an open mind so we can see the blessing in all of it. So there's going to be some type of blessing that comes, because keep in mind, we still have Jupiter making that loose trine to all of this energy. So we can just, tap into the harsh energy, quote unquote, harsh energy, in order to gain the motivations that we ultimately will be able to utilize to set us free. Okay. Now, let's briefly talk about this Uranus North Node Mars conjunction at 18 degrees in Taurus on July 31st. Let's briefly talk about it, because I'm going to be posting a video discussing only this. This is going to be talking about some history, what to expect. We're also going to talk about, in your sign specifically, what this means for you and how this can manifest for you. But also keep in mind that this has not happened in any of our lives. Anyone that is alive today has not experienced this at all. Just keep that in mind. Just want y'all to know that. So Uranus North Node Mars conjunction at 18 degrees in the sign of Taurus on July 31st and August 1st. Okay, so first and foremost, this energy is going to be still square that Mercury, which is in Leo. It's going to be square Saturn, which is retrograde in Aquarius. And Mercury is going to be making that opposition to Saturn. So this is that energy we were just speaking about with the new moon. And keep in mind that the sun is here, right? So the sun is making that aspect to Jupiter, also that loose trine that's still present. Okay, now we are feeling this energy as early as July 22nd, all the way through to August 15th. So pay attention around this time, around the beginning parts of Leo season, what synchronicities are happening, what's coming up for you, what feelings are you feeling, what is your mood like, what is your motivation like, what does that feel like? And just kind of pay attention, even journal about some of these things, especially with that Mercury energy being in Leo. It's an important time to journal about it. So that way you can have some reflective time and also get the synchronicities, find the messages, right, that you aren't able to recognize in the moment, but you can later on revisit them, and then you'll receive that insight. Okay, so Uranus, North Node Mars. So Uranus is all about the unexpected things. It's about innovation. It's about freedom and liberation. It's about our autonomy, right? It's also about the humanitarian efforts and the collective energy. North Node is our future motivations. Now that is also our motivations to the point to where we are just gobbling up anything that's in our path, even if it doesn't necessarily align. If it looks like it aligns, we're going to go after it. So sometimes that North Node energy can be at our detriment if we're not being aware of or being discerning of what is for us, and also not if we don't have a clear idea or any type of clarity of what it is that we're going for. Anything that looks like it's for us, we'll just take it, and then we'll have to reconcile it thereafter, right? Now, also keep in mind that Mars is here. Mars is about our energy, it's our motivations, it's our passions. Mars also eliminates things. So with Uranus and Mars being in a conjunction, that can be very volatile also. But this is the indication of a new beginning, any type of conjunction, right? The sun and moon together is a new moon. That's a conjunction. It indicates a new beginning, right? So any type of conjunction, and in this case, it's no different. We have these three, Uranus, North Node, and Mars in a conjunction, and it's indicating a new beginning. And it's a 15-year cycle that we're going to see play out over the next 15 years of the change in our agriculture, the change in our money, the currency that we use, our values, our partnerships, our relationships, the things that we find pleasure in life, all of those things are really kind of taking an abrupt change. And we're going to really see this play out collectively, but also on an individual level in our lives over the next 15 years. Is setting the tone for this. Okay. So with that square energy to Mercury in Leo, this is potentially going to be bringing some challenges within our ability to mobilize, right? To move, to also communicate and to see, right? Our perceptions might change a little bit, or we might really have some cognitive dissonance towards what we know needs to change or what we already know to be true, especially with that loose trine to Jupiter with the sun, right? And so this is a lot to do with recognizing the truth about ourselves, and then not really wanting to accept it, that kind of thing, or recognizing the truth of our path, where we should be going, what we should be doing, and then still okay, having that cognitive dissonance of not really wanting to accept it, right? So kind of tapping into that. And then we have that square energy with this conjunction to Saturn that's retrograde in Aquarius. So this is, what challenges, what restrictions, what work, what is it that we're not recognizing that needs more structure, that needs to be more stable, or even just done practically because we're just being really impractical about some things. So recognizing that as well. And keep in mind that Mercury and Saturn are still in this opposition. So that's going to be trying to help us find that balance, finding a common medium between discipline and, what we think and what we know, and, our immediate environments, and, so on and so forth. So yes, that is all that I have for that energy. And of course, like I mentioned before, I'm going to go deeper in detail about this conjunction. So keep watch on that video that should be coming out. But it'll definitely be before the energy peaks on the 31st. So it'll be within the next week, if not less. So yeah, I hope that has been helpful, at least giving y'all a little brief of what I will discuss. I'm going to go deeper into detail on that. So yes. Now, also wrapping up the end of the month, we still, like I said, Sun is trining Jupiter, Venus is squaring Chiron, and Mercury is still in that opposition to Saturn. So keep all of those things in mind. And that's all happening on the 31st. So the end of the month is going out with a bang, baby. Okay. So, yeah. That's all I got. So I hope this has been helpful and beneficial. I hope that, you have a wonderful week ahead, despite the energy that's going to be really heavy, challenging us to really grow, utilize it for growth, and, try and just focus on, whatever comes up, try and focus on what needs to be done in order to shift through and break yourself free from whatever shackles you put yourself in. All right. So There we have it. Like I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, if you would like a reading, hit the description box below and navigate your way to my website. The Celestial City membership is there, the Chiron Candles, and half off on the year ahead focus because we're already halfway through the year. So there's that. And please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I would like to see you all back again. All right, have a wonderful week ahead.